I'm Corey McGregor, a 20-year veteran butcher who's passionate about quality meats. I want to share my experience of some of the finest produce from Australian beef, lamb, pork and chicken farmers. Along with my brothers and sister, we're serving up some of the best right here at McGregors Artisan Butchery in Lower Templestowe.
Time to dig in.
Come and grab something.
Australia produces some of the world's best beef, and I'm fortunate to have access to premium product. As butchers, we want to provide our customers with high quality, sensational tasting produce that represents good value and great eating.
Oh, that's absolutely magnificent.
There's nothing better than steak. It's peak eating and can be prepared in a number of ways. And in my book, grilling brings out the best. So we're going to take a look at where the mainstay of the beef cuts come from. I'll give you a rundown of each, and then of course, we need to cook them up to really capture what I'm talking about. Let's get going.
Awesome.
This is what we like to call an Argentine or an Argy. I guess they call it an Argy because it's the shape of Argentina. This particular beast would be a Angus, from a Victorian Angus from the Western regions. So we try and get all our beef from anywhere between Geelong, Warrnambool, all the way to Robe, all grass fed. It's actually primarily made up of 3 cuts. So you've got your rump, you've got your T-bone, you've got your ribs. And through that, you've got your fillet, your porterhouse, your Scotch fillet, and your ribeyes. This particular piece has been hanging for about 6 weeks, which is actually prime to start the cut. We'll take it down from a larger cut down to the primal cuts and show you where it all comes from. So we'll start with taking out the ribs. The best way to find where you need to start the cut will be little vertebrae. So this is the spine, as you can imagine. This is the hip bone, all the spine, and this is all that beautiful meat nestled along those ribs there. So what we need to do, find the first rib, I'll move on to the next section. I'm going to keep the fillet intact with the T-bone because we're going to keep it all on the bone. I think when aging beef, you need to keep it on the bone because a lot of that beautiful flavour is coming from that bone, and you get all those little nooks and crannies where the meat is, and it's just out of this world. So I found the little cup joint there where the hip meets the loin. We found our 3 sections. First, the rump, little connection of the hip bone, loosen him up till you hear it crack. There's your pin joint. This part here, that's what they call the back cut rump. The thing about the rump steak is that it doesn't get the recognition it actually deserves. It's a beautiful piece of meat, especially when you're dry aging at something like this. All those tendons are just broken down, all the enzymes are gone, and you've got left with a beautiful piece of meat. Traditionally, it's probably not your most tender cut when you compare it to your Scotch or your porterhouse, but when you've got flavour to tenderness ratio, it's an absolutely beautiful steak. So this is definitely my favourite cut, T-bone. As you probably saw with the rump steak, that's your last cut of your rump, and this is where your porterhouse starts. This cut here is the ultimate cut. It's your beautiful porterhouse, a little bit of rump, and you've got that beautiful fillet there. Then you've got all of the bone. So you've got all that flavour coming off. T-bone has always been my favourite. Growing up with a large family like ours, Mum was cooking for about 13 people, but always seemed to have 13 T-bone steaks. Don't know how she ever did it. If I had a preference of what I would do, fillet and butt meat is probably my least favourite. Your Scotch fillet is incredible. It is your crown. It's your prime cut of your steak. It's got that beautiful bit of intramuscular marble that goes through it. But if I had to pick one steak, it'd be the T-bone steak. The meat's amazing, but Once you get into all that little nooks and crannies around the bone, that's where it really shines. It's the part that you look forward to the most. It's when you've eaten the meat and you've got the bone just sitting there and you gnaw away at it, and just beautiful sinew, and just everything about it is just delicious. It's it just gives you that kind of caveman feel and what we're supposed to be really eating. So they're my three. Out of the three. Oh, sorry, and rump. I'll put rump second, actually. T-bone, rump, scotch, ribeye, fillet. So they're my four. A good recognition of the breed of the cattle. You can tell that this one would be a Highland, so an Angus Hereford. Just the covering of fat that it has. Not massive eyes in it either, so it's not coming off a big piece of beef, so it's probably around about your 500 kilos. When cutting a steak, I try and keep as much fat on as you can. Cooking, you're not going to be using anywhere near as much as saturated fats for your pan. It's all natural, and also the flavor that it's going to give off. You can always get rid of the fat, but once it's cooked, but you can never put it back on. I know when I first started butchering, would have been 20 odd years ago, everything had to be lean. Every little skerrick of the meat and the trim was just taken off, thrown out. And I think as people grew and knew more about the products that they're eating, they realized how good that is. As you can see there, you've got that beautiful indentation. That means all the enzymes have been broken down. So that's what the dry aging does. Think of it like a piece of meat, like a sponge. When it's wet and it's fresh, the sponge can move, it's soft, it'll bounce back. That's because of all the enzymes in the meat are still stringy. But if you were to dry that sponge out, it would break. That's pretty much like a piece of meat. So when you're biting into it, the enzymes are just going to snap straight away. They're not going to bounce back and move with your bite. That's how you get chewiness, and this is how you get beautiful tender meat. So this is your butt fillet, so it's a piece of your tenderloin. The good thing about the eye fillet, it actually is connected by a lot of this connective tissue where it's not hanging off the bone. So what we really can do is just pretty much pull it straight off without damaging any of the meat. There's your butt fillet. So here is a part of your hip joint. This is where we take it off from when it's in the pistola, we take it off that side actually. We take it off from there, find your cup joint, follow the bone. Thing about when boning, yeah, you want to use your sharp knife, but you also maneuver the meat to where you need it when boning. Also all about gravity, pulling off the right ones in the right spot. That's your rump in its most natural form, without the bone. I actually don't know what this muscle is called, but I've always called it the rump pillow. So I'm going to keep calling it the rump pillow until someone tells me it's anything different. So all you do is peel that back. This is a continuation of your butt meat. So this is your round steak, or your notcher, your knuckle. See the seams? This is how we identify from one primal to another. So this is one here. We know that's part of the knuckled. So from this rump primal, this is where we're going to get these beautiful steaks. Like I said, those ones there, probably two of the best steaks, in my opinion, you're going to get on the animal. That's your 2-point cut rumps. Just that natural fold over. Nice bit of suet fat through there. Coming into Christmas, that's awesome for plum puddings. Melt that bad boy down. From the whole primal, this is what we've ended up with, that beautiful rump. Trimmed as much as I can back. A lot of it will be done for sausages, burgers, anything like that. But that there is gonna be an absolutely amazingly eating steak. Got that beautiful, I do that press test. That's not coming back at me. That is a beautiful eating steak. I like to make sure that they're all sequential order. The reason why the eye fillet is the most tender cut, it's an unused muscle. It just sits in this inner sanctum of the ribs where no movement generally is getting made. Because you can imagine like the cows moving all day. That's why generally your legs and your hinds are probably more your more tougher cuts, the ones that probably need a little bit more attention when cooking, where your fillet is just sitting there, nestled in there, doing absolutely nothing. Let's trim your fillet up. Remove all that sinew. Tricky part about doing an eye fillet is the skin part. You do need to be very careful so you don't cut into the meat. So I move it underneath, get a firm grip. Take it off there. It's 2 sections here. Do the same thing. The other side. Just remove any cartilage there from the bone, from the hip bone. So there you are. You probably do see the eye fillets in a nice round shape, but naturally that's what they are. They've got your 2 sides. What we generally do is give them a nice wrap in plastic and let the natural meats and emulsify themselves together. You'll get that beautiful nice steak. This instance, let's keep it al natural. When having eye fillet, there's no use having little small pieces. So something like this, probably cut into 3. Something like that, I would have like a nice medium rare. So a thickness like that, and with a dimension like that, I'd probably cook for, say 3, 3, 2, 2. Again, like I said, it does have its place in the market, the eye fillet. It is a beautiful cut. It's tender, it's everything you want in a steak. It's pure meat, it's a whole muscle. There's no sinews, everything's been removed, there's no fats, there's everything like that. It's actually a really, really nice steak. I just think for what it is, it's a bit of a nothing sort of taste to it. Tender, yes, but flavor, that's probably why I have to put so much red wine on it to get the flavors out of it. But like I said, it does have its place on the map, just not my map. So the T-bone, it's like the Venus Williams of the sisters. It's good, like really good, but not quite as good as the ribeye. But I think this is the ultimate steak, especially this first cut here. You've got 3 steaks in one. The continuation of your rump is your porterhouse, and here's your eye fillet. So what we're gonna do, this one here, if you're gonna have a steak, you might as well have it nice and thick. That one's mine. So this is the true essence of the T-bone. Thick cut, perfectly aged, incredible textures. Like I said, you got the continuation of the rump just finishing there, and this is where your porterhouse starts. Fillet. But also in through here, this is the magic of the T-bone. All those little nooks and crannies that you just won't get anywhere else. All those beautiful flavors mingling in with each other. When they're cooked, they just separate from the bone, and this is just speaks to me as what meat should be. You got to have the appreciation of all the aspects that go to it till you get that final product, from how the calf was raised to where it was bred and what it ate and how it was looked after. The farmer's passion to keep this at its absolute peak, and then to finish off with a beautiful piece of steak like that. Just all around amazing, amazing steak. It's just beef at its absolute best. All right, so what we're gonna have to do, we'll trim a lot of it up. Like I said, don't throw any of that away. All that beautiful milky fatness. Even him up. Again, don't remove all the fat. You want to make sure that it's got a beautiful natural curve, so trim off any little excess on through that. You want to have around about 15 mil of fat towards the meat, especially with that meat ratio. You want to have that beautiful milky fatness. Turn it around. Again. Perfect. That fat's going to keep it nice and moist. That's going to give it all that flavor. Like, you can get rid of it after you've cooked it, but I think when you're cooking it, you want to make sure you keep all that beautiful fat in with it, because it only gives it flavor, protects it as well.
You're like a song that I sing in the morning on a perfect holiday.
So the crowning part of the argy, the ribeye. Probably the most popular cut, ribeye and Scotch fillet. Probably become more popular in the last 5 or 6 years, I've found. A lot more people are looking for that fatness. They're not looking for the overwhelmingly lean cuts, and this is the best part. So this, I'll show you where it's the loin starts to meet the shoulder. So what I've done through the bandsaw, I've taken this chine bone off, I've separated the two, so when we cut, I'll be able to individually cut the ribeyes. So to take the feather bone, run your knife along the feather bone until you find the paddywhack. Have the paddywhacking through here, into the separation of the meat. Like anything, if you don't have to use your knife, don't. Separate it. The Scotch fillet is a whole muscle, where instead of the outsides of the meat being nice and fatty, you've actually got all that beautiful intramuscular fat that's going to keep it nice and moist. Find the bone, run it down. There you have the ribeyes. Standing rib roast, crown roast, Scotch fillet, if you can also imagine. This is the end of the argy, so obviously this has been open to the air. This is going to need to be removed. I'll find that last bone. Unfortunately, you do have to take some sort of sacrifices But with that, get that beautiful Scotch, that little bit of core fat through the middle. When doing a ribeye, I like to leave all those intercostals in there. Like I said, like every little bit coming off the bone is worth holding on to. So get it nice straight.
You're like the joy of a trip that's coming to a place with ocean views. You're like an old familiar friend when all is new. When all is new, you're like a song that I sing in the morning on a perfect holiday.
Like the T-bone, if you're gonna have a ribeye, you have it thick. As you can see, a little bit of fat that was on the outskirts of your porterhouse slowly starts twirling. It's twirling in through your meat. Your spinalis slowly gets a little bit bigger. A lot of people actually asked if you can actually just get the spinalis steak, but I think the beauty of it is that you only get that small part. It only comes with that Scotch fillet. So one of the main reasons why a lot of people love Scotch fillet is because of this part. And it really is an amazing, beautiful piece of meat. It's grainy, it's sometimes quite coarse. It hasn't got that smooth finish like your sirloin or your loin part there. It's a bit on the rougher end, generally a bit fattier, but when cooked, it just separates and the fibers in it are just incredible.
Sound of tires and violence rises, 'cause your laughter is the soundtrack of my life. The soundtrack of my life. The soundtrack of my life. The soundtrack of my life.
So the 4 fundamental steaks that we have here from our argy, from that large piece, kind of simplified it down to these 4 cuts. So we've got our rump steak, our eye fillet and tenderloin, so our T-bone and our sirloin or our porterhouse, and this is our Scotch fillet and ribeye. Yes, we like to display them, but the one reason that we're all here for is to cook them. So let's put these bad boys on the hibachi and give them a good burn.
Cooking on the bone is always a little bit tricky as well, so you've got to take into the fact that this bone that comes through the meat here actually works as like a heating rod. So it's not only cooking it from the outside of the steak, but it actually heats it from the inside. So you've got to be very careful of that. So if you like your steak a little bit medium rare, well, then you'd probably want to do it a little bit under again. So I'm going to cook these ones, even though it's a bit thick. I'm looking around about 5 minutes each side. So breaking down the beef from its natural form, the great thing is that we get the luxury of having some of these marrow bones. The marrow bone comes from your leg, and then what we're going to do with this one to keep it super natural instead of using any oils or any butters is that I'm going to fry the marrow bones off. I've only got a little bit of salt, pepper, garlic, a bit of thyme and rosemary, those over the coal. Going to really render all that fat right down. Ribeye is going to be ready to turn. Just see it's got that sizzle that rendered the salt and the pepper. That salt is actually another extent of how hot the salt gets extra hot, so that's going to give it that nice render over the top. Just give it a douse of more bone marrow. Touching the steak, there's a good way of doing it just by touching your hand. So if you ever want to know where your steak's at, that's medium rare, that's medium well, and that's well done. As that one's cooking now, I think I'm going to put on the rump steak. Again, with the rump steak, going to want it around about medium rare. So again, just put your salt, pepper. Very underrated cut, the rump steak. So what we're going to do, we'll take the T-bone off now, detach the fillet, see how that's going, and that's going to give us a really good indication of how the T-bone is and if it needs to go back on the grill or not. So pass it over to Anthony. My opinion, I think that's perfectly cooked steak. The thing is, you do have two different primal cuts there, so it is your fillet and your porterhouse. Fillet probably a little bit more well over the porterhouse. As you can see there, you can see the two different fibres going through the meat. The fillet's probably got a little bit less through there. With the porterhouse, you see a little bit more, but that's absolutely great eating. That's perfectly cooked. That's as good as that one gets. So what Anthony's doing is carving the Scotch fillet off the bone. You've got your rib here, and then the Scotch fillet. Let's see how it's cutting. This one is a little bit under, which is absolutely fine. The great thing about the ribeye steak is that it actually has got a little bit more forgiveness with it. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to put some of the steak back onto the grill, just give it a once over. Bit more of the marrow on there. Render that fat. Get that beautiful smokiness over it. So your rump steak, it's your quintessential just beef steak. Like, it's just a perfect steak for grilling, for dicing, for so many different things. Three different sections. You've got your rump cap or your picana, your mid cut or your Ross Spiff, and then you've got your tri-tip. Three different textures in one steak. So let's give it a cut and see if we've done it right on this one. So your rump steak, as you can probably see through that steak there, it's a little bit more of the fibrous, and that's what probably gives it that little bit extra chew. But that, again, that's where all the flavour sits. It's a beautiful steak. This one's probably on the medium side. Probably would have rathered it a little bit under, but hey, that is what it is. And then also it's on that hibachi, that grill, that charred grill flavour. You're not going to beat those flavours. So that's your rump steak. All right, so the final cut, which is the fillet or the filet. Again, whole muscle. It's going to take absolutely no time to cook. The difference with cooking this one is that instead of cooking it on two sides, what I'll probably do is have it like a square, and I'll cook it on four sides. Just a little bit of salt. Nice and hot. Again, just going to be lubricating it by using the bone marrow instead of using any types of butter or any oils or anything like that. Just going to kind of keep it as natural as possible. With your fillet steak, you've got to be a little bit careful as there isn't as much intramuscular fat through it. That's not going to keep it nice and moist. So what you want to do, not overdo it, don't cook it, get it a turn. And like the Scotch fillet or anything else like that, there's no fat that needs rendering, so it's going to probably take a little bit less time. That's your ribeye, that's your T-bone, that's your rump steak, there's your fillet, just sizzling away over there. So I think that's done now. I'm going to let that sit over here, give it about 5-minute rest. Fillet. So face-sided, here's your fillet, let it rest. Still got a little bit of give on it, so I reckon, yeah, perfect. Draw a little bit of that myoglobin going through there. Perfect. Perfect colour, great consistency. If I was to have that fillet, I'd have it there all in a bowl, no salad, nothing else. Dollop of butter, salt, dig into it. That's how I'd eat it. ribeye steak. That bone, I'll be gnawing on it first, and then I'll get to the steak part. Your rump steak, this is great for editing fajitas. You can have it in salads, Thai salads. You can have it just as your steak. You can have it so many different ways. And then of course my favorite, the T-bone. You got your beautiful fillet here, and also that porterhouse. All right, so all the 4 main cuts are done, grilled, ready to go, sliced. Got the bread cooked, so dig in.